2023 Grocery Plus Allowance Card, helping U.S. seniors combat the first time ever I saw your face. I thought the sun rose in your eyes, and the moon and the stars were the gifts you gave to the dark and the endless skies, my love. The first time ever I kissed
your lips. I felt the my hand.
Like a trembling heart of a captive bird that was lit at my command. The first time ever I lay with you, I felt your heart so close
to
to
my
mine, and I knew our joy, it would fill the earth, last till the end of time, my love. The first time
ever
ever
I
I
saw
saw
your face.
your face,
Your face.
Cole, he's my miracle
One more.
So
One
how does
more.
your miracle child get cancer?
Wait.
How does that happen? There was this
1 second, sorry.
basically a tennis ball sized tumor in the base of his brain. We were then rushed over to our local children's hospital, and that's when they told us it.
1 second, here we go.
Strumming my pain with his fingers, singing my life with his words, killing me softly with his song,
Killing me softly.
with his song, telling my whole life.
R.I.P. David Crosby. It's one of my favorite. We played their music this week, too.
I heard he sang a good song. I heard he had a style. And so I came to see him to
Listen for a while.
And there he was, this young boy
A stranger to my eyes, thumbing my face with his finger, saving my life with his word, killing me softly with his song,
killing me softly with his song, telling my whole life with his words, killing me softly with his song. I felt all flushed with fever, embarrassed by the crowd. I felt he found my letter
and read each one out loud.
I prayed that he would finish, but he
Just kept right on, strumming my face with his finger.
singing my life with his words, killing me softly with his song, killing me softly with his song, telling my whole life with his words, killing me softly with his song. He sang as if he knew me in all my dark despair, and then he looked right through me
Me as if I wasn't there.
and he just kept on singing, singing clear and strong, strumming my pain with his fingers, singing my
Pops
life
with all
with
the
his
chicks.
words. Killing me softly with his song, killing me softly with his song, telling my whole life with his words, killing me softly with his
Face with his finger.
singing my life with his words, killing me softly with his song, killing me softly with his song, telling my whole life with his words, killing me softly. He was strumming my
Face with his finger.
yeah, he was singing my life. Killing me softly with his song, killing me softly with his song, telling our life with his words, killing me softly with his song.
Vision problems? Try adding this to a glass of water before bed. Every human has around 106 million cells in their eyes. These cells collect
Good
light signals
morning.
and send them to our brains where they're decoded in a
Roberta and
wavetype.
I were hanging out this morning, so I invited her to tea. What do you guys think? Were you guys happy to see Roberta there this morning? Roberta Flack. She has so much soul. Here we go. Right, Penny? I agree with you. That's some good nostalgia music. Give me 1 second. 89 days. So I read a comment. One of the comments came across there. I wasn't paying a lot of attention this morning. I was doing a couple things behind the scenes as we were opening with the music. But I read one comment because I was flipping through the family album. I read a comment from Kimberly the Golden Bolden. And she goes, oh, looking through the family album. This is going to be, some of this is kind of hard to think. I grew up with a brother. Here's my family. My brother, he was 3 years older than me, 2.5. A sister, they were born exactly 364 days apart. So they were born boop, boop, and then Pops came along. So there were 3 of us, the first 3 kids, in 3 years. My mom had 1, 2, 3 Catholic kids right away. So we were all exactly 1 grade apart, 1 age apart. Then my mom waited 1 year, and she had 3 more. 3 more little girls in a row. Boop, boop, boop. Altogether, within 8 years, my mom had 6 kids. That's called, some people would call that a tribe. Some people call it a pack. And it's funny when you're that close in a little Catholic family, going to Catholic school. It's funny how tight you get, how tight-knit a group you become. Anything that happened to one of those kids happened to all of us. My dad was also the great Santini. He thought we were boot camp kids. If one kid in our family told a lie, we all got spanked. I'm not kidding. I remember one time I snuck some peanuts out of his peanut jar. Okay, I snuck some peanuts out of his peanut jar. And he wanted to know who stole the peanuts. I don't even know how he knew, because it was probably 3 or 4. A couple little peanuts out of his peanut jar next to the dad chair that you were never allowed to sit in. Okay? Oh, he was so strict, nerd. Okay, so now the missing peanut caper. Well, first of all, a lot of crimes didn't happen in our house. Okay? We did not have a whole lot of crime happening in our house because the sheriff was very tough. So we kept the crime down to a minimum. But this particular day, I thought I could pull off the crime. So I grab a couple of peanuts and boop, boop. Next thing you know, Pops wants to know where's the peanuts, my Pops. Well, I'm scared to death to tell him because I know I'm going to get a beating. See, that's how we get domesticated. Don't tell the truth or you'll get a beating. That's how we were taught. If you tell the truth, instead of just tell the truth and we'll figure out why you did it and we'll fix it and so you don't do it like that in the future. That isn't how we parent. You tell the truth right now. Okay, thank you for telling me the truth. Now bend over, you're getting a spanking. Okay? All right? So now I'm being taught by my dad to be a peanut. Don't steal peanuts, but lie if you don't want your ass read. Well, I couldn't admit it. Well, my dad couldn't get this out of his mind. Okay, so guess what? He sends all 6 of the little kids, 6 of us, into a bedroom. And he says, you guys are going to stay in that bedroom till one of you come out and admit who did it. You're not going to eat. You're not going to sleep. You're not going to take baths. You're not going to school. You're not doing anything. Like, we're basically in a POW camp now. Okay, we've been put on, basically we're going to get waterboarded over the peanuts. Okay, one at a time. If my dad knew about waterboarding, we would have been waterboarded at this particular moment. So there's 6 of them. This is over peanuts, Anthony. We still talk about it to this day. So now, yep, Guantanamo bedroom. So here we are. The 6 of us shaking, scared to death. This is over the peanuts. And my brother, I know you did it, Chris. That's my name. I know you did. I did not do it. I can't admit it to anybody in the room. I can't. I just can't do it. I can't break myself. I can't. Now I'm stuck with all my lies. Now I got everybody in Guantanamo Bay because of me and my peanuts. So the guilt is overwhelming. Finally, my little sister, 2 years younger than me, 2 years younger, her name's Renee. It's a true story. Renee goes, I did it to the six of us. To the six of us. I did it. Pops knows you didn't do it, I did it. You know, I knew, and that was the time for me to, because I mean, this is after a couple of hours of shaking in the bedroom. And we're all pointing fingers at each other, and we're all, finally my little sister Renee says, okay, I'll just say I did it. Meanwhile, Pops the coward is in the background going, I think Renee did it, right? Now she has to open the bedroom door and she has to go out and face the wrath of evil. She has to go tell my dad I'm the peanut stealer. So she goes out to tell my dad. She's a tiny little thing. She's so cute, my little sister. And to this day, she's stunningly beautiful. Okay? She goes out to tell my dad, I'm the peanut stealer. My dad tells her, go back in the bedroom and tell your brother Chris to come out here. I got a beating. I got a real good whipping. It's absolute true story. Usually all of us would have got the whipping. Dad was like, no, just you this time, pal. And it's going to be a double because you sent your sister out here kind of thing. Oh, God, it was a disaster. So she tried to save me, and it was over. I'm going to tell you another story. Do you guys want to hear another poor pop abuse story? Okay. I deserve that one. Who sends their sweet baby sister out to take the beating? This guy did. All right. So don't think Pops is all that good of a guy. I'm working through stuff. I had to work through it till I was 30. All right. Not a good guy. I'll tell you one more story. I got to tell you one more. So there's the six of us, right? We're a tribe. My sister, older than me, her name is Adrienne. Beautiful name, but we all called her Blue. Blue was her nickname in our family. There wasn't one person ever called her Adrienne ever. She had the bluest eyes you've ever seen. Phenomenally blue eyes. So we called her Blue. And she was, my dad was the great Santini, right? She was my dad's favorite. First daughter, and she was as responsible as you could ever be. She was a non-sinner. Complete, whatever they wanted her to be and do, that's what she did. Amazing woman. She died at 40 from breast cancer. My big sister, Adrienne. But we didn't have the greatest relationship growing up. We did later on. We actually went into business together. Her husband, my brother-in-law, and myself opened a business in Maryland for 5 years. We had a successful little construction business there. So families are beautiful. But I'm 16 or 17 years old. Okay, thank you guys for saying that. She was so young. It was a funny story. It was, she was flying home back to Maryland from LA. She's on an airplane, my sister Adrienne. It was Ash Wednesday for Catholics. She was a very strong Catholic. It was Ash Wednesday. She even had ashes on her forehead. Now she's sitting on the plane and she felt a crack in her leg, like osteoporosis crack in her leg. She got off the plane. Now her leg's killing her. She gets with my brother-in-law, and straight from the airport, they drive to the hospital. Ash Wednesday. They show up there at the hospital. I mean, after tests and stuff, I'm sorry, your wife can't go home. She has cancer. And it's extremely, extremely advanced. She'd been living her life. This is the realtor of the year in Maryland. Extremely successful woman. Riddled with cancer and didn't know it. Ash Wednesday, they find out. They try to do a few treatments between there and there. She died on Good Friday. So the same time that Jesus spent wandering in the wilderness, that exact 40 days, was the exact 40 days that my sister had to live knowing she had cancer. And it was tough on our family, but it drew a lot of people together too. It was like one of those deaths that creates a lot of lives too. I'm getting goosebumps when I talk about her right now. My sister Adrienne, she lived a pretty holy life, and in her own way, what a way to die. There's a lot of symbology in the way she died. Ash Wednesday to Good Friday, zero knowledge, and the strength and kindness and goodness she spent in character was a lot of, like, telling you mean stories about my dad. But my dad created some good kids. And my mom. They created some good kids. But we all had wild streaks. So but she didn't. She wasn't nearly as wild as Pops. And it was important to her to keep my dad happy. So I'm 6. Do you guys want to hear one more story? This was the story I was going to tell about my sister and me when we were like 16 and 17. I'm revisiting, I don't know where this came from, that I'm revisiting Adrienne this morning. Well, aren't we supposed to be listening? Aren't we supposed to learn mycology here? We always end up doing popology. I just want you guys to know that Pops was a creep. That's all I want you guys to know for sure. But you can climb out of your creepiness. Okay? As a matter of fact, fast forward, I was 30. I get out of my cocaine rehab. There's a family get-together. What are we going to do with Pops now that he's clean and sober? Well, we don't want to put him back in the same place because he's going to revisit the same places and the same friends. So what we're going to do is we're going to send him to Maryland to go live with Blue. And I moved into an apartment building right by Blue, and I spent 5 years there, clean and sober, and starting a whole new business. So yes, we got very, very close. She was like my mom after rehab. Okay? So it's interesting what happens. So I'm 16 or 17, I'd say, 16 probably. And I'm a pot smoker. No one in my family knows that I'm smoking pot. Because I'm still pulling in my A's, I'm still doing good. No, my business was cabinetry. We made and installed custom cabinetry back in that day. That business. I'm trying to tell this story. So I'm the little weed smoker. And I might be moving a little in the neighborhood too, but I can't keep it at my house, right? Of course. So there's a guy directly across the street, lived in the house directly across the street. And he was about 4 or 5 years older than me, and then a very obvious hippie, long hair. I mean, he was a kid from the 60s, and I'm a kid from the 70s, right? So I know what I can do. I can keep my weed at Josh's house. So whenever I want to move my stuff or whatever, I have to go over to Josh's. So this evening, it was maybe 10 o'clock at night or something. It's a true story. Here I am over at Josh's, and I snuck out, by the way. I wasn't supposed to be out of the house. And we literally were perfect. We were amazingly good at being able to climb out a window and climb back in without ever being caught. Because we did it all the time. Okay? So I had climbed out my bedroom window to slither across the street to go to Josh's. And I'm thinking, I got time. And before I got to go back and slip into my window, that's a 16-year-old kid sneaking out of the house, right? And it's about 10 o'clock at night. I go across the street and I'm smoking a doob with Josh and I'm getting ripped, right? And I'm back in my mind is I got to go home pretty soon, but no one knows I'm out here ripping. Boom! All of a sudden, front door, and I'm like, oh, I'll get that. I'm high as hell. It's like, I'll get the door for you, Josh. I don't know what made me decide that. There's a knock on the door. I open up the door, and I'm staring at the face of my mother with a doob. Staring at the face of my mom. Well, my mom was pretty tough, too. My mom swings the screen door. Oh, so busted, Sandy, it wasn't even funny. Literally, doob in hand. Smoke all going all over the place and everything, right? And it was why I answered the door instead of sent Josh to the door and hid in the closet somewhere or something. I don't know. But I did. I opened the door. Here's what happens. Screen door slams open. My mom reaches in. This is a true story. My mom reaches in and she grabs me by a handful of hair. Like that. Handful of hair. And she starts dragging me across the street. And I'm like, Mom, wait. She goes, wait till your father finds out. She's dragging me in the house by my hair. Okay? And don't forget, Pops was thinking he might be a hippie by now, and I'd grown my hair just a little long. A touch long. Longer than my dad liked. I'm now dragged into the house. Eves! She's screaming for him. Dad's asleep. Eves! I found him across the street. Now my dad's up. He's coming down the hallway in his shorts and that's it. Get me the scissors, he yells out to the family. Now he goes and he sits in his dad chair. And he's expecting, and I'm sitting on the couch. Oh, I'm so sorry. The hair all a mess, and I'm no longer buzzed, and I'm sitting on the couch, and he's sitting over there on the chair. Meanwhile, he's got the family. Everyone in the family is looking for the scissors. Well, we weren't the most organized family. We had junk drawers everywhere. One of my little sisters, the same one that said she took the peanuts, she took the scissors, she found them, and she hid them underneath the mattress. She hid the scissors because she's going, I know if Dad finds those scissors, it's not going to be. So her little brain decides, I'm going to protect my brother by hiding the scissors. Well, that might work in some cases, but my dad's not going to give up. You're going to find those scissors. It started out at 10 o'clock in the morning. In the evening. And now it's like 2 o'clock in the morning and the kids are stumbling around the house looking for these scissors that my one sister's hidden. But Adrienne is on the warpath. Adrienne has decided those scissors come hell or high water. I'm fine. Eventually, Adrienne pulls up the mattress. She sees the scissors. Boop. Pa, Dad, I found them. This was a 4-hour ordeal. I'm not kidding you. Do you think Pops has some PTSD yet? I'm still crying because I didn't even get a look for the scissors. I'm sitting. Finally, Adrienne brings the scissors in. What does my dad do? He grabs my hair by chunks, just 2 or 3 chunks. He goes, oh, you want to be a big shot? You want to be a hippie? You want to be a pot smoking long hair? Well, This is what he's doing. And he took my hair and he cut it off right at the scalp, like 3 spots. So I have this hair and a bald spot, bald spot, bald spot, like 3 major bald spots. Okay, you can go to bed now. Well, it was only about 3 hours before I have to go to school the next day. Full on mange head, Penny. Full on mange head. Meanwhile, Adrienne's got brownie points from my dad. Thank you, dear, for finding the scissors. Meanwhile, I'm like, I'll never speak to you again. Meanwhile, I have to go to, oh, Maria, did I cry? I'm crushed. I'm like, and that's what you get for smoking pot. And I'm like, okay, I guess that's why I'm not supposed to smoke pot. I told you guys this whole story to tell you family. Family. I started this whole thing because we were looking at that family album. I have a family. This nuclear family that was super tight, so tight that we would hide scissors from our dad for each other. Some of us. That we would save each other after rehabs. All of this. I have that incredibly tight family. As many of you do. But this is where I was going with all of that. Oh, I was horrified for the next 3 or 4 weeks because I couldn't get a haircut. Nobody would let me even go get a haircut. I had to walk around until the hair grew out enough to finally even it out. It was Catholic school too, so you weren't allowed to wear a hat. I was going to a school where boys were wearing suits and ties. It was an all boys Catholic high school. And we're wearing suits and ties, and I have to stand in line with alopecia head. And everybody in the building, everybody in the school knew, no, it's Kirby's dad again. That's Kirby's dad again. Because he was I was known to have the meanest dad on the planet, which was pretty mean. But he created some good kids. It wasn't a very good method. Sure, a lot of programming I'm going to work through. But no, he wouldn't even let me cut my hair. I had to be shamed for a long time over that. Okay, no, it's okay. It's a funny story. It should be funny now. There can't be shame. It's like, just don't treat your kids like that. Right? But family. My whole thing with family is I love this one, the one that I was showing those books. I'm not as close to my family as I am to you guys, as close as I was then, people saving me. We live long distances away, and I barely talk to them here and there and exchange a Christmas gift or a card. Or my family and I have gone like this over the last 20 years or so. And that's nature. There's nothing wrong with it. None of us hate each other. None of us are mad. It's like, oh, we're splintered. It's just, now you have a family with your family and your friend. My brother wouldn't come to a mush fest if he had to save his life. He couldn't come to a mush fest. That's not his kind of people. That's not who my brother wants to hang around. My sister, she wants to hang around with, if you want to talk about vegetarianism with her, then you can all day long. But but we as humans need a family still. And I know what I've done. I've replaced, not even replaced, but nature has brought me a new family, more growth, more opportunity. See what I'm talking about, Anthony? And it's not because your brother's a bad guy or you're a bad guy. We're not the same people. Just because we grew up in the same house and we saved each other with scissors does not mean that that's the person you want to be around or hang around or do stuff with all the time. Now, sometimes it is. I have 2 sisters that are so close that they're each other's best friends. And that'll always be that way. My brother and I know it's okay. But Sandman and I, and many more of you here, Jeff, Kevin, I have friends now that I've told more to and been deeper with than my whole nuclear family put together. I have gone deeper with people here than all the other 5 of my brothers and sisters put together over my whole lifetime. Different relationships. Different relationships. These are the relationships that I choose on a daily basis to have. My brothers I choose to have on a holiday. And that's enough. I don't want to hang around him all year. I don't want to hear about how he's always right and everyone else is wrong stuff. That reminds me of my dad. So that whole rant, and also a couple of popology stories in there, that whole rant is to say, family is our choices. Of course, there's a blood family, but there's a bigger family. This family here, you know how many hundreds of people are going to care about you when you go away? More than you ever thought when you were a few years ago, when you were counting yourself as not worth much, not that important to very many people. Kieran, after we did her reveal of her present yesterday, she wrote to me, and all I could write back to her is, you are loved. I would say that to just about everybody here. Not just about everybody. You are loved. Certainly by Pops, because I'm going to put the time in, and I'm here for you. I didn't even feel good this morning. I'm not quitting. I'm not going to not show up. It's an hour of committed time because you're going to show. The people that showed up here are showing love. That's a true story. I'm not just giving, this isn't cult talk. You are loved. And we forget that. We think we're isolated. We think we're alone. We think, even your families, my family doesn't like me much. I don't like them. That's the nuclear family. They don't amount to much anymore once you've moved out. They were part of your preparatory phase. They prepared you for the next level. And I would argue if you're very grown, that was a few levels ago. That was quite Pop's time spent with the 6 and 8 year group. Man, when I went off to college, that was over. That day to day, then on to Marines, and then on to life, and then on to, it was over. You know where I spend my day to day now? With people I choose. The coolest thing about social media is our ability to block. It's our ability to block. I mean, you don't like, just boop, hit the block button. If you don't like the person, you don't even have to spend any time or energy or emotions on it or anything like that. Just like, okay, you know what? This person's just not the kind of person I hang around with, or it's not in my family tree that I'm looking for. You know what? It's okay. Boop, hit the block button. It's harder to use in real life, Streety. It is. Let's do a giveaway. I didn't mean to end it on block button either. I'm just saying, we choose our families. We choose who we want to hang around with. I like Ginger Gnome so much, I do anything I can to get her to the next Must Fest. What do I have to do, Ginge, to get you there? You know what I'm saying? We like each other so much, we'd figure out ways to get the people there. There she is. I could say that I could put anyone, I could put her name in. Excuse me, I could practically put anyone's name in there when I say that. Joshua, you better come. RJ, there's RJ. My sister's my sister, and she took me and my daughter in when we were homeless, when my parents turned me away. Beautiful, beautiful. You guys, 89 days till the next Mush Fest. It's well worth your while to go. You do not spend a lot of money there, I promise you that. If you show up broke, it's okay. There's food and drink and places to put your head no matter what. So this is not a money game. We'll get you that. We'll figure it out. All right. All you have to do as a human being is get there. If you have a desire, then you will be right in the middle of the fire pit. Okay. It's mainly gas and time, Paige. That's it. It's all you got to do. And then, I mean, there will be some rooms available, but there will be other. As a matter of fact, speaking to that very quickly, it looks like Carlotta may have it dialed in the next place that we're getting. So in the next few, not too distant future, we'll get some pretty pictures of that and see where we're going exactly. But we do know it's in the Gatlinburg, Tennessee area. Okay? Let's do a giveaway. I've done popology all morning long here. Toucan, there's the specifics you want to talk to Carlotta and or Sandman. And they'll get us all the specifics as this thing. But we've got an 89-day notice now. 89-day notice. 14,577 people right now just got a 89-day notice. Let's do a true-false giveaway. I'm going to read 3 statements. You're going to determine if they're true or false. At the end of the 3rd statement, I'll look at my screen. The first 6 to get the correct answers in a row will move on to the next round, which is the spin to win round. Okay? Here we go. The first question, the first statement. The weakest muscle in the body is in the little toe. True or false? Secondly, the largest muscle in the body is the one you sit on. True or false? And thirdly, some people are born with 6 fingers on each hand. True or false? Go. I'm looking for your answers. Okay. I only need one more. 5 right so far. That's it. Kill it. Kill it. This one was not that hard, I don't think, because most of you got it right. But I have to go with the first 6 that I saw get it right. What is right? First question. First one. The weakest muscle in the body is in the little toe. False. The trapezius muscle in the middle of the ear is the weakest. Second, the muscle in the body, the largest muscle in the body is the one you sit on. True. The largest muscle is the gluteus maximus, the butt muscle. True. And then thirdly, some people are born with 6 fingers on each hand. True. About 1 in every 1,000 people are born polydactyl, meaning more than 5 fingers on each hand or 5 toes on each foot. 1 in 1,000. It doesn't seem like that. I feel like I'd see more. So the answers were false, true, true. The first 6 that I saw on my screen that were false, true, true. Right, Street? That's hard to believe. 1,000, 1 in 1,000. See, Penny, I don't know anyone like that, and they're saying 1 in 1,000. Well, okay, unless they're on their toes and they're hiding them. First person that I saw on my screen was I lost. I lost my iPad. The next one was Mike B. Mike Brown. Mike Brown. The next one was, oh geez. Hold on. I made a note and I'm not done a good job. 1 second. I'm looking back at the screen to make sure I say it correctly. Boy, a lot of you got it right. Ken. Ken R.H. Okay, so it's I lost, Mike Brown, Ken R.H., Kimberly, Nat, you got in there, and Sammy got in there. So those were the first 6 that I saw on my screen. Here we go. Let's see, that's Nat. Natalie Jones. That's Nat. Congratulations, Nat. Let's see what you got. Congratulations. You know what? For the next, we're going to do 2 more of those. So hang in here. Those 6 people, however, don't get a play in the next round. You all got a chance already. We're going to give 6 more people a chance on the next round. Okay? Sorry about that. I lost Mike, Ken, Kim, and Sammy. Sorry about that. What did you win? Nat, you're not gonna believe it. First of all, it's a good old Pops 10-pack. These are 200 milligrams each. Okay? But here's the fun part. Pops was bagging stuff up and what, bloop and blapping and this and that, right? And always at the end of the bag, you always have stuff down there at the end of the unit bag. But it's still good. As a matter of fact, it's off-fall from everything else, right? So I thought, why don't I put a few of those bags together? That's some Ghost from the bottom of the bag. The shake, Natty. That's some, but it's 5 grams worth. Oh, you know what? I said these were 200 milligram. I apologize. I'm wrong. These are the bigger ones. These are the 400 milligram. 400 milligram. I'm sorry. So there's 4 grams sitting right here. And I'm going to drop another 5 on you. Okay? Ghost shake. You guys don't call it shake. I've never heard much. There's 9 grams right there, Nat. Okay? I've never heard it called shroom shake. Of course, we call the weed stuff at the bottom shake, but shake. Okay, shroom shake. I end up with a lot of it. I get a lot of shroom shake and I don't know what to do with it because I don't want to put it in a bag, make it. You got all these beautiful mushrooms and everything, all of a sudden, shroom shake. Let's do another one. Those 6 people are disqualified. You cannot play. I lost Mike Brown, Ken, Kim, and Sammy. You cannot play this round. We're trying to give someone else a chance to win. You guys are too smart for the group. You ready? Here we go. Shroom shake. I have more shroom shake here. Okay? Making that tea, Laura Devine. First statement. Thank you for being kind. I lost Mike, Ken, Kim, and Sammy. I'm sorry I kicked you to the curb. Okay. The Guinness World Record holder for the oldest person with age documentation died in 1997 at over 122 years old. Oldest person in the world, 122 years old. True or false? Second, it is possible to be born with 2 different colored eyes. True or false? Number 3, the lungs are naturally blue in color. True or false? Go. Okay, so far I see 2 correct. Those that they thought they were all correct are wrong. Even though I thought the lungs being blue sounded like a good one. I have 4 so far. Five. See if I can get a 6th one. There's number 6. Okay. Kill it, kill it. I have the 6. The Guinness World Record holder for oldest person at 122 years old? True. A French lady named Jean, same as my sister's name, had evidence showing that she was 122 years and 164 days old when she died. 122-year-old lady. True. It's possible to be born with 2 different colored eyes. True. The condition of having eyes in 2 different colors is called heterochromia. Heterochromia. So it's true. And the 3rd, the lungs are naturally blue in color. False. Lungs are made of a soft, pink, spongy tissue. Creepy. Anything inside me is creepy. So the answers were true, true, false. Many of you went true, true, true. The first 6 to say true, true, false on my screen, excuse me, the first of those was Sharon. Sharon first, Sharon Sparks. Anthony, you're going to be the violet. Leonard Oaks, you're a green guy. Laura Devine, Laura, you're orange. Joshua Barnett, you're the blue. And Ego for Ecology, you made it right in there too. You're the yellow. Okay, so here we go. Who is that? That's going to be Sharon Sparks. Sharon just won a big box. Congratulations, Sharon. Sharon and I, she put it in order last week, and I just had the hardest time figuring out what it was, what it wasn't, and I hope we're figuring it out, and we'll get it figured out, and we'll add anything or subtract anything. Here we go. Sharon, you got yourself 10 400 milligram pop pills. That's 10 of those, Sharon. Then at the bottom of the bag, we had some shake. But this was a different bag. That other bag, that was a ghost bag. The bottom of this bag was filled with ODPE. So that's shaky wakey off the bottom of the ODP bag. So, Sharon, between those 2, it's a pretty darn nice Friday package. It's kind of a lot of stuff. So if you could get me your address and anything else that I'm missing that I haven't sent you, I'll put it in this box and we'll get you taken care of. Thank you. I'm going to read something and then we're going to get out of here. We have one more giveaway. It's going to be just like those. It's going to be a bunch of capsules, and it's going to be shroom shake. Okay? Who is our new crew member? Is there a new crew member? Who deserves a donut right now? Gosh, there's 87 people here, you guys. Good Friday morning. Kombucha and everything else we're going to pick up next week. We're going to get into fermentation. I'm actually going to do some over the weekend, so I'll have it to show to you live what we're doing. So that'll look forward to that on Monday. I would have done a little bit today, but I thought, you know what, let's do stuff live when we can. So we're going to do some little bit of that. But I know I spent a lot of this morning on popology, but that really wasn't about me. I mean, I was telling you stories about me, but there's stories that remind us that we have fucked up childhoods. And at the other side of it, they're not. They're filled with love and goodness and kindness. I had one sister who loved me so much she hid the scissors. And I have another sister who wanted my dad's approval so much that she found them and sacrificed her brother for it. I mean, these are crazy dynamics that we grow up in. And then that sister and I, we have to live in the same house together while I walk around with hair. And she's feeling guilty because now I got patches of hair sticking out of my head. And I'm mad at her because she found the scissors. And you know what? That's just one incident. Of course, it was a pretty dramatic one. It was one of my more dramatic ones. But we have some really messed up programs that we have to work with. This is the ones that were given to us. My mom could have handled that so different. She didn't need to snatch my head and drag me across the street and get my dad on fire and then turn the whole house. My dad didn't need to do it. My sister didn't need to. I didn't need to be smoking. I didn't need to sneak out my window. Why am I sneaking out my window in the first place when I'm 16? We have a lot to reprogram. But the good news is we can. The good news is anything that was a scar can grow flowers. Shrooms grow on scars. We need a great deal of courage to challenge those beliefs that we were given. How many times do we pay for one mistake? The answer is 1,000 times. The human is the only animal on earth that pays 1,000 times for the same mistake. Every relationship I've ever had with a girl situation, you always remember the mistakes they made against you. Remember back in 1977 when you always remember when they sinned against you, and you bring it up in every argument. We make them relive it 1,000 times. You know, I told you guys this story before. It wasn't long ago. Ruff had an accident. Peed where he wasn't supposed to. He got hollered at. He got put outside for a minute. About an hour later, he brought in, we're petting him, giving him a snack, and it's completely forgotten. And he's trained. He doesn't pee there. I don't wake up every morning and remind Ruff, remember when I'm still, you peed. Every time Ruff makes a mistake, another mistake, and you're a peer too. We're the only animals that do that. The human animal. The human's the only animal on earth that pays 1,000 times for the same mistake. Often we pay for it in our own mind. It doesn't even take somebody else. I pay for it over and over and over in my own mind. Till I do so much cocaine, I have to go into a rehab. The rest of the animals pay once for every mistake they make. Not us. We have a powerful memory. We make a mistake, we judge ourselves, we find ourselves guilty, we punish ourselves, and it doesn't stop. We get in the cycle. If justice exists, then that was enough. We don't need to do it again. But every time we remember, we judge ourselves again, we are guilty again, we punish ourselves again and again and again. Don't think you're a bad person for that. That's normal. That's what we were programmed to be like. If we have a wife or husband, he or she also reminds us of our mistakes. My ex was really good at reminding. She was so good at reminding you about your mistakes that she'd remind you before you made it. Your next one. I'm so good at reminding you I'm going to remind you before you even make your next one. That's good. That's really good. How do you know I'm going to make it out? Did anybody like that? If we have a wife or a husband, he also reminds us of our mistakes. So we can judge ourselves. So we can punish ourselves again. And so we can find ourselves guilty again. Anybody try to make their wife guilty? Anybody try to make their husband guilty? Yeah. And then they are, and then you're like, what's wrong with you? You know they're judging themselves. You know they're hurting because it happens to you. How many times do we make our spouse, our children, or our parents pay for the same mistake? How many times am I going to make Eves pay for my haircut? I'm so glad I told that story because I could use it as a perfect example now. Seriously, think about that. How many times am I going to make Eves pay for my haircut? I'd like an answer. That wasn't a rhetorical question. How many times? Not one more, Ginge. Not another. I gave up. I forgave him for that haircut a long time ago, or I couldn't tell the story. I won't ever make him pay for that again. I use the story now to tell the truths. And I earned the haircut too, Herbie. Maybe not all the drama with it. How many times do we make our spouse, our children, or our parents pay for the same mistake? You're forgiven, Eves. You didn't know what to do with this kid. You didn't know what to do. You're forgiven. You guys forgiven your parents? They didn't know what to do, man. Don't make them pay for that mistake anymore. God, that's beautiful. I'm ready to cry. I already did forgive Dad for this a long, long time ago, therapy. Because that was scarring. But a lot of good stuff has grown out of that scar. I've used that same story in sermons. I've used it as a sponsor to help people get sober. I've used that same story that was true to guide people's lives. I should almost thank Pops for the haircut now. I can't go that far because it was wrong. But forgiven, that's easy to do now. Every time we remember the mistake, we blame them again. That was a mistake you made, on top of my mistake. We blame them over and over. And then we send them all the emotional poison we feel for the injustice. This isn't just Dad for a haircut. This is a lot of people that have wronged me. Oh, he did me wrong. Okay. You go ahead and send emotional poison. And then we wake up, and then we make them pay again and again for the same mistake. Is that justice? The judge in the mind is wrong because the belief system, the book of law, is wrong. Your point of reference for the whole thing, your program is wrong. The whole dream is based on a false law. 95% of the beliefs we have stored in our minds are nothing but lies. And we suffer because we believe those lies. That's why we're going to get next week's going to be fun. Somebody asked here, how do you get out of the cycle? You start following the 4 agreements. I'm not trying to be a 4 agreement cult guy. I'm not. But if you start following them, you'll find out that the path is so super simple, so easy, and it's all about growing you. The guy wrote to me last night, DM'd me last night. It was a long message. It was sad. He's just found out his wife has stage 2 cancer. She's the number 1 breadwinner for their family. The 4 Agreements. That's the book we're reading by Don Carlos Ruiz. Let me close with this. We'll get back onto this next week. Is this good stuff, you guys? This is good stuff. We're going to talk more about how we program out of this guilt and shame and the injustice. But let me tell you this story. And then we're going to give a final giveaway. This gentleman and Pops, I'm just asking you because you seem like the kind of guy I could ask his questions. I said, go ahead. Stage 2 cancer. She's the number 1 breadwinner in the family. She's no longer going to be able to provide. He has some issues that keep him housebound, almost PTSD, and extracurricular use of things he shouldn't be using. What do I do, Pops? How do I get out of it? What do you suggest? I suggest you read the 4 Agreements. I suggest you read the 4 Agreements. If you begin today to operate impeccably outside of yourself with a pattern of kindness, you're already starting your healing. It's not a tough road to get out of. The truth is, we feel like we're in a quagmire. I'm here to tell you it's your brain's calling it a quagmire. Your brain's making it seem so deep you could never climb out. It's not even a freaking wading pool you're in, bro. You're in a freaking mud puddle. You're just deciding to roll in it. Stand up. Just stand up. And you're already all the way out of the puddle. Now you just got to clean it off. This human brain of ours thinks I'm over it. I'm up to here with it. No, you're not. It's barely touching the heels of your shoe. Try living in India right now. Try not having a sheet on your bed. You're so far ahead of the game already. All you have to do is stand up, get out of the mud puddle. Chop, thanks for being here. I see you guys all giving Choop and Chop. Choopy, Chop, Chop. You guys are giving him his donuts for being here. Thank you. Okay. What are the 4 agreements? The 4 agreements. I'm going to just read them to you just the agreements themselves. But these literally are life-changing. And again, I'm not trying to be a 4 agreement cult because we read other things here that are life-changing as well. But this is particularly life-changing. The 4 agreements are simple. One moment. The first agreement's to be impeccable with your word. Second agreement is, this one stops a lot of us from doing anything. Don't take anything personally. Third agreement, don't make assumptions. And fourthly, and incredibly important, always do your best. Do you know that this morning I was prepared to not do my best? There was a 15-minute period where I'm holding my chest because I had a little bit of a, maybe a kind of a ulcer feeling going on. I'm just not feeling great on my chest area. And then what did I do last night? Stupid, dumb. I told Brock I ate green I did a stuffed pepper last night. I love stuffed peppers with sausage and rice and stuff like that. So I'm eating a stuffed pepper last night. And then after that, maybe an hour later, I'm like, oh, this really hurt. My chest is really hurting. I go, Brock, do you think the green peppers did that?
Yeah, Dad. Probably.
Probably. I'm like, oh, geez. And so it was still with me some this morning. And there was a period of time where I was like, I have a valid excuse not to go. I have a valid excuse to not show up. Oh, I could even go back to bed and call in the cavalry to go back over to that. I could get out of the whole day if I wanted to. But that's what I did instead. Not because I'm a hero, not because I'm special. I mean that. Not because of any of that, but because I truly, truly am trying to follow the 4 agreements. I don't do it perfectly, but I'm not supposed to do it perfectly. I'm just supposed to do my best today. I'm just supposed to do my best today. And I did. I did my best. I showed up, we had a good, I probably talked a little more about popology than mycology, but I did my best. You know how I would have felt inside if I hadn't done my best on this one? You could have done it, especially 15 minutes later. I feel fine. There's nothing going on. I feel great. So always do your best. Don't make assumptions. Jesus Christ, don't take things personally. Do you know when people are attacking or saying something or coming at you and saying, that's about them, man, come on. We all know that already. I don't even have to wear a shield anymore. Jeez. I'm over it. Assumptions, the minute I think it's about me, I'm already now guilt and victim. I'm the judge and victim guy. I have no assumptions. I'm going to give something away. Oh, I expect them to say thank you. No, I don't. Then you gave it away for the wrong reason. You give something away and you expect a thank you. When you get your thank you, there's your prize. I don't want a thank you like that. I want you to ripple the kindness. I have no expectations except that the universe is going to work the way it's supposed to work. If I ripple, then there will be more ripples. If I jealously hold on to something, there won't be ripples. Duh. If I jealously hold on to mycological knowledge, it's not going and nobody else is growing anywhere. And now all the laws are going to stay illegal and everything I do is going to be illegal. So don't make assumptions. Do your part. Do your best. Don't take things personally. And then finally, and most importantly, be impeccable with your word. But that's really first. That's an example, again, back to the not feeling good. I want to be impeccable to my word. My word says I'll be there at 9. I said I'd be there. I said I'd be there at 9. I didn't say 9:03. I didn't say 9:01. I said I'd be there at 9. And when I show up at 9 because I said I'd be there at 9, man, I feel good about me. Man, that reinforces I want to do that again. I know, Sharon, for some of us here, it's 6 o'clock in the morning for them. But you keep your word. Be impeccable with your word. It really helps you do your best. Let's do a final giveaway. Do you have your Dr. Pepper lists ready? Who has their Dr. Pepper list ready? Wouldn't you like to be a pepper too? I'm a pepper. You're a pepper. I'm looking for my Dr. Pepper list. There it is. Okay, Dr. Pepper. Let's go. There's 23 ingredients in Dr. Pepper. So far, we've talked about 3 of them. I'm going to pick another one off of the list. Go. Plum, prune, blueberry, root beer, almond, ginger, apricots, cocoa, juniper, cherry, caramel, amaretto, lemon, prune, rum, lemon, almond, ginger, anise, plum, caramel, clove, anise, orange, amaretto, water, toenail, cola, blueberry, pepper, malic acid. Thanks, Kim. Peach. I didn't see that on the 23 list. Kim. Peach, carbon, cherry, pepper, orange, cinnamon, raspberry, niacin, lemon, nitrogen, cola, vanilla, almond, cardamom, tomatoes, 7-Up. Put some Fritos in there, peach. None of you guys have gotten it yet. Blackberry, CO2, MDMA, blackberry. So you guys are just making your own mixes now. Blackberry, sarsaparilla. Kill the game. Mom's Munchie knows what's in there. Mom's Munchie knows molasses is in there, and that's the one we picked. Moms. I'm so glad you won. Mommy, send your address. Your box is going to be the same, Mom. I'm going to send you, I don't have it made, but I'll make it right after the show here. I'm going to send you exactly what we sent to everybody else, which was a Pops 10-pack of 400 milligrams. And we're also going to send you 5 grams. When you send me your address, moms, you tell me, do you want 5 grams of ODPE or do you want 5 grams of Ghost? She's saying give it to a newbie. Mommy, no, Mom, I'm going to send it to you. I'm sending it to you. You give it to somebody. You give it to somebody. You or your lovely, lovely husband, my gym partner. Okay? So I'm going to have moms, if anybody gives it away, it's going to be moms gives it away. All right? It's going to be up to mom. So her lovely, lovely husband, Higgs, you guys don't know this. You guys don't know this. But I still have 3 Higgs boxes in reserve from last year when he sent them to us. Okay? So I definitely want to send it to moms. And if moms wants to do something with it, she can for sure. So moms, when you send me your address, tell me if you want Ghosty or if you want, of course, babe, or if you want ODPE in there. Okay? That's it for a Friday. We ran long again a little bit. 82 people here today, you guys. Live, that is. There's going to be about another 700 watch it by noon. True story. And then through this evening, we see another almost 1,000 people watch what we taped. Every day, we're getting about 1,700 people all together right now. What do you think about that? Jesus, it's still too cold for fishing here. So we have the analytics that they give us. We're able to go in and look at. I can even tell you what countries are watching and what age groups are watching and gender. We have, generally speaking, the average on a mycology type of videos, around 5% female cooperation. On ours, based off of my last one, the last time I looked, 22% of the subscribers are females. That's an incredible number for mycology. That's like asking, I mean, that would be like 22. It's hard to explain because I don't want to make it gender specific, but the numbers are just much more male dominated in the mycology numbers. But the women are bringing it, and I think that they were here all along. They were the ones, being the the medicine women in their tribes and in their villages and everything else. It's all been handed down, word of mouth, and mostly women. But since history was written by men, we've taken credit for it. But you can guarantee yourselves, men, we're being lazy. We're sitting around, we're chewing the fat, and then we'll go get a deer when we feel like it. Meanwhile, the medicine woman's actually putting the poultices together. She's actually saving potatoes through the winter. So don't kid yourself. Pops, peace. I love you guys. Will you please be wonderful to one another and anybody else that you come into contact with before 9 o'clock next week? Okay? You guys, pops, peace. We all make the world go round, Desi. Let me scroll you guys out. Vegas, you're pretty cute too. I Losty and Wes, I love them too. Anna and Kimberly and Anthony Thornton and I Losty and Christina Bennett, there you are, and Ego and Ginger love you and Herbie Von Werby Kapop and CME and Nerdy and Desi and Letty Ladrand and I Losty and Christina and Lexington Felix. Have a great weekend. Vegas, brutal honesty, Pops. Pops says too much sometimes. Exception, love you. Choop and Doop, you're the new one. You're the guy. You better come back. Juniper, have a wonderful day, Desi. Paige and Wes and Help. Go grab some of those lids off of... Oh, you guys didn't... Anybody that's still here? Quick commercial. The Detroit Mush Lab now has cartridges, vape cartridges for sale. Don't go to your local dispensary. We beat the price, we beat the quality, we beat the service. And you're helping Bridgie. So head on over to the Detroit Mush Lab and get yourselves some cartridges. There's only about 800 flavors available over there. The prices are ridiculous, just like the supplement prices. Ridiculous. All we want to do is get it out there to y'all. So go on over there and look. That was a pretty good commercial. Bridgie is killing it. Bridgie's one of the nicest guys in the world, and who's facilitating it, making it happen, is Sandman, and then Chris, our newest Shroomy winner behind the scenes. Head on over to the Detroit Mush Lab for all your supplemental needs. We got it covered over there. There's a lot of stuff on that site. Have you guys seen that site lately? Censored Citizen and Nat and Nerdy and Anthony and Mike and Jesus Christ. We're going to have those on there soon, geez. They'll be on there soon. Kimberly and Tony G and Ginger, that was a pretty good commercial. And Sharon, if I'm missing anything, let me know when you send me your address. I put it in that box. We'll clean the deck on you. Maria RX, Herbie and Bridgie, Censored Page. Show me the cheap dispos. Dispos. JC, we might, exception, we might end up, he thinks they're going to be those kind of dolls. They're really going to be little mycology dolls. Shh, don't tell him, all right? Excuse me, Sharon and Stephen and Rob, an exception. Exactly, mush dolls. Disc and Sharon and Joey and Jesus and Sharon and Liddy and Overjoyed and Ego and Joshua and King and Nat and Mike Buddy Ball and Nerdy and Parker. We'll see you guys around. I gotta go. Be kind to yourself and to one another. Out. Have a great day, Vegas.